Let's wrap up Pixar review series with Toy Story 5, the latest installment in the Toy Story franchise. Spoilers, spoilers, spoilers. So we finally did it. We reviewed every Pixar movie and we are kicking it off with Toy Story 5. I already did a short of this, but now I'm here to talk full spoilers. And I got to see it again. And as you guys know, I got this for the premiere. So there was that. It actually comes with Buzz Lightyear. I kind of wish that they had the black here, but they got the OG Buzz Lightyear, so that was actually pretty cool that they got him instead. But yeah, this was a movie that I was excited for, but we can all agree that we all should have stopped at 3. Everybody will say Toy Story 3 was the best finale because we could tell a story about technology with other different characters, new characters even. If anything, Ron's Gone Wrong, a very underrated animated movie, did it better, honestly. You should go out of your way to watch it. It's on Disney Plus right now. It was made by Fox animation. I don't know if it was Blue Sky, but basically it was like one of those last few movies that were coming out before the bot before Disney got the rights to Fox. But they did have a couple of Disney references in it. But regardless, that was pretty cool that they were able to tell a cohesive story with that. It's one of the more forgettable animated movies in recent times, but you should really go out of your way and watch it. As far as Toy Story 5 goes, it was actually nice to see what the characters have done because this movie was still great. Not perfect, it has its flaws, but I, for the most part, really had myself a good time watching this movie. The movie basically is about Bonnie wanting to fit in. She wants to have friends. She's having trouble connecting with people. And then as Jessie is looking for the neighbors' kids, trying to see what they are into, she just sees them with technology. They're just very closed off, and yeah, it's a bunch of people in their iPads and stuff. So naturally, Bonnie is different. She's not like those type of kids. She wants to be an adventurer. She wants to play with toys. She still wants to be imaginative. But the dad said, "Okay, this." I was worried that we had to do this, but we're gonna have to buy a tablet, and that's where LilyPad comes into play. And Bonnie gets hooked on LilyPad immediately, and I do like that they didn't make LilyPad a full fledged villain. They made her kind of have a reason to be here because listen, technology nowadays is like this, and I like that LilyPad's like, okay, this is the only way that um this is the only way that Bonnie can connect with people, literally, because everybody's in their technology, so this is the way they can connect. And I like that the LilyPad isn't your typical tablet. It's specifically a tablet for kids. Like, its only usage is games for kids and connect with other kids. So that was actually pretty smart on their part, that you actually limited what the LilyPad can do. Because we already had a movie of technology taking over in Mitchell's versus the Machines. We didn't need to go that route. Thankfully, we did not go that route. I was afraid that that was the lesson that they were teaching us, which I'm like, that is not Pixar. I'm sorry. As good as that movie was, that was in Pixar. Here, they kind of embrace why technology is important nowadays for a kid. And because really, without LilyPad, we wouldn't have had the climax that we did with the new girl that she ends up meeting and becoming friends with. However, the structure of this movie, Jessie is trying to see if she can find ways to connect with Bonnie's new friends. However, the friends already tease Bonnie that she has toys still. So then naturally the dad took the toys, but then as Jessie was trying to sneak back into the house, she falls out of the car, and these old people find the toys, and conveniently, Jessie just so happens to have Emily's address. So this is a smooth transition into how Jessie ended up back at Emily's house. So it was actually kind of smooth how they went down with this route. And so Bullseye and Jessie are back at Emily's house where she's with there's a new girl. I really appreciated that they didn't go the route of, okay, let's make Emily an adult. Let's basically have her be like, oh, look, it's my old Jessie doll. I thought I got rid of this. And then she gives it to her um, daughter or something like that. And then in the process, Jessie moves on, similar to what Woody did in Toy Story 4, which I'm glad they didn't go that route. Speaking of Woody and Buzz, they are so irrelevant to the story. More so Woody. I personally wish Woody wasn't even in this movie because I mean he does have some good jokes of like him being fat and bald and old. Um, and meanwhile Buzz is like trying to propose to Jessie. And it's just both of them bickering back and forth, but in reality it's just more of like just the same old trope, and you can tell that they ran out of steam with these two characters, so they should have just completely just not even have them. And if you were gonna have Woody involved, it should have had a way to include the other characters, as in Bo Peep, Duke Kaboom, and Ducky and Bunny, who are Key and Peele, who appear on this movie, but they don't talk at all, which basically told you that Key and Peele were unavailable. I know Jordan Peele has said that he's done making movies. He's done starring in movies, whether that's live action or animation. But you can always recast. They recasted half of the Inside Out characters. They could recast these guys. It doesn't matter. If I'm being honest, I did like that Jesse felt natural to adding to this story because, we were like, oh, Toy Story's gonna go woke and stuff like that. But I'm like, no, this feels like the natural transition. If anything, I am a little bit disappointed that in Toy Story 4, Jesse was in the background. So, unless they go this route where Toy Story 4 was Woody's story, Toy Story 5 was Jesse's story, and Toy Story 6 is Buzz's story, and then that's how we wrap up uh, the Toy Story saga. I personally wish they would go that route. I actually want to see them go that route instead. I think the heart comes from Jessie in this entire movie, especially when she meets these other technology characters like Conan O'Brien's character, Smarty Pants, which was kind of a silly character. I mean, it is Conan O'Brien, but like still, like his writing was kind of dumb. There's these other characters that are also like technology. I like the one where like it's like a camera. I forgot her name. Craig Robinson's character was also there. They don't really do much outside of like learning what it's like to actually play like with imagination and stuff, and like I do love that they show the 2D style animation of how the girl's imagination looks like through their eyes. I really like that. I like that Alan Cumming voices Bullseye briefly. That was actually really brilliant. Shout out to Alan Cumming. He looks like he's coming a long way. He was in the Spy Kids franchise. He was a Nightcrawler, and now he's coming back in Doomsday. So yeah, that was awesome. A big part of me that I was just like, how are they gonna include Emily into this? It looks like it's been years. How are they gonna go about it? And they really don't. They don't show Emily physically as an adult, which I'm glad that they went that route. But that part in the tree was such an emotional roller coaster where it's like Jessie looking at a tree where she and Emily used to hang out, and then they find an old lunchbox, and then in the process you find out that Emily's daughter was named Jessie. So that was actually a really cool Easter egg. And it's been years. Emily's like an old lady probably by now, or she has then passed. I don't know what happened, but I like that they kept that a mystery. Another thing that made no sense were all the extra Buzz Lightyears. They do play a big part in the climax and the post credit scene, but they were really irrelevant. There was a really hilarious part where like all the toys freeze when the garbage man looks at them and is like, "Oh, I'm not cleaning that up." That's not the funny part. The funny part was that after they got up there, like, "What was that? I just froze the second the human saw me," and so it kind of like piggybacks on that. And they finally address Lightyear. They will tell you that that movie is not canon, and I'm glad. I was so happy that they did that because Lightyear is a big fat piece of garbage. I hate this movie with a passion. How do they ruin this guy? How do they ruin him? I don't know, but they found a way to do so. But anyways, the big climax is that, Lily Pad is feeling bad that, like, you know, all these toys got lost, but Bonnie is just constantly being picked on, even with technology, because she still plays with toys. Lily Pad feels guilty of it, so she sends herself into a donation box, but then Jessie uh, realizes that she can be of use. It's kind of like the similar trope that Sadness went through in the first Inside Out. Um, and you can repeat ideas. You could just write them in a more clever way, and this was one of those clever ways. Apparently, all these new light years are drones, so they have these top tier technology. Lilypad uses them to fly them back to their rightful houses. The most emotional part was that Buzz throughout the movie is trying to propose to Jessie, and then Jessie kisses Buzz. People marked out. People were cheering on in the theater, rightfully so. And then eventually they found a way to connect Bonnie and this other girl. And then Bonnie finally made a friend with the help of Jessie and Lilypad. Eventually we do get Buzz and Jessie's wedding with the creativity of Bonnie's imagination. I do like this movie, and I think it was very important. The reason why I think this is the weakest out of the Toy Story franchise is because I still feel like there was a lot of side characters that did not matter. Woody and Buzz were irrelevant to the story, like I said, mainly so Woody. You can erase Woody completely from this movie and you're good. They could have given that spot to, I don't know, Dolly. Buzz and Dolly arguing because like Dolly knows Bonnie more. That makes more sense for Buzz and Dolly to be arguing more since there's more relationships with that character. So there was a lot that went wrong with this movie, but there was a lot of goodness to it. It's a good thing that they got Andrew Stanton directing this, and I kind of hope that he directs 6 because if they're gonna continue on the Toy Story franchise, they need someone who has been in Pixar from the start. Obviously, not John Lasseter. Pete Docter is really good at creating new ideas, so I think they should move him to do that. So Andrew Stanton is the one that makes the most sense. So for me, Toy Story 5, I'm going to give it a high B plus, which is the same rating I gave Toy Story 4. I do think that I think after 6 they really should be done, and they should wrap up the story with Toy Story. Unfortunately that's not the case. There's rumors that they want to do a Woody spin-off. Hopefully not, but anyways, thank you everybody for sticking with me and reviewing the Pixar review series. Hopefully there's another movie franchise that I would want to knock out and explore. But till then, take care everybody.